Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we're continuing on our program to provide free life coach training program for all people who are interested, whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims. This is an Islamic approach to teach you in terms of how you can serve the ummah and your community in a way of being a life coach, especially to coach young people. So you can be a retiree, you can be a student in a university, you can be a housewife, you can be anybody, but go through our online program, and it's based on our book Post-Islamic Psychology, a transcendent model to achieve peace, happiness and success in the 21st century. And this book also, inshallah, you can download from our islamicspsychology.net as used as your ebook. We also have the Indonesian version and the summary of this book. So in the previous video, I have explained to you that in terms of the human genome itself, it is a miracle. So in the modern day, you don't need to have miracles like Jesus walking on water. Just introspectively, you are seeing miracles upon miracles, miracles upon miracles every day of your life. If you look at the stars, you see the miracle of cosmology. If you look inward into yourself, you see the miracle of your DNA, your genome project, and so many things that, like it or not, there is an intelligent creator. Some of them do not like to use the word God. They use, the divine matrix, whatever. It's a newfangled name. I mean, it's so simple to call God, God, or Allah, or Ilah, or Elohim. But, well, they want to have a new name, but they surrender to the divine matrix. Okay, that's a new name for God. Alhamdulillah, there's not a problem for us. But we have a beautiful understanding from the metaphysics of Islam about the nature and reality of our existence and how we need to surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And today I'm going to give you a video, origin of or probability of a single protein forming by chance. This tells you how our existence in this universe and the existence of this universe or any other universes or any other dimensional plane that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. Because remember, in Islam, there are dimensional planes. There are, some scholars say, there's 7 dimensional planes, all right, through the study of Islamic metaphysics. These are all recorded in the Quran, the Hadith, and the writings of our great scholars over more than 1,000 years. All right. So today it is for you to understand that is literally impossible that we existed by chance. We existed by design. We existed by the will of Allah, who designed us, who designed this universe, who designed the multi-universe, who designed everything, and we surrender and submit to Him. Then we see the new miracles in our life, inshallah, as we understand the meaning of Tawheed, the meaning of surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and becoming a believer, understanding that nature of our life on this earth is just a temporary, a blink, not even an atom, not even a second in the reality of our existence of the world beyond space and time. We call that the hereafter. So inshallah, you watch this video, then you understand that, like it or not, you have to believe in a divine creator. Whatever name you call, that's up to you. So if you are a Muslim and you are going to the university, you face a lot of these newfangled atheist professors and all that. Give them there are many of these kind of videos now. Now, people who have been atheists for many years now coming to believing in God, and inshallah that should strengthen your faith rather than you surrender your belief system to the atheist who has no agenda except to bring you to self-destruction. Inshallah, we try and see this video.
When applied to the origin of life and the random formation of large biomolecules, probability theory clarifies the limitations of chance as a creative agent on the primordial Earth. For example, what are the odds a single protein could form exclusively through the blind interactions of chemistry? Our target is one smaller than average molecule made from 150 amino acids, each aligned to ensure a folded chain. Researchers have calculated that on the ancient Earth, the probability of success was 1 chance in 10 to the 164th power. That's 1 correctly sequenced protein chain for every 100 million trillion 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 failed attempts. But despite these enormous odds, some theorists argue that given enough time, anything is possible. Okay, let's test the validity of this opinion. We'll begin by establishing an ideal environment for chemical evolution. An imaginary world that will provide chance with every opportunity to succeed. First, we stock the oceans to capacity with amino acids. That means all the atoms on Earth, including its entire supply of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, and sulfur, are available to form 10 to the 41st complete sets of the 20 types of amino acids used to build proteins. Then we'll alter the laws of nature to protect these building blocks from the destructive rays of ultraviolet light and chemical contamination in the primordial soup. Now let's turn the chemistry loose and see what happens. The amino acids start bonding furiously. In our experiment, an entire chain of 150 units self-assembles in only 1 second. Since all 20 types of amino acids are available, at the majority of sites, there is a 5% or 1 in 20 chance the correct molecule will align in the chain. If the sequencing is incorrect, the chain is immediately destroyed and a new assembly begins. Throughout the planet, 6,000 million billion trillion trillion attempts will take place every minute. That means in 4.6 billion years, the oldest estimated age of the Earth, the number of chains that don't fold will exceed 10 to the 58th power. It's a staggering total, but nowhere near 10 to the 164th. The trials necessary, on average, to build a protein of 150 amino acids by chance. So if undirected chemistry can't produce our coveted molecule during the entire history of the Earth, then how much time would have been needed? To find out, let's take a road trip. We'll start by erecting a bridge that spans the diameter of the observable universe, a distance of more than 90 billion light years. Then we'll place an amoeba on one end of the bridge. This single-celled organism will travel at the breakneck speed of 1 foot per year. It's off. While we wait for one protein to form by chance, the amoeba slides along for more than 5 billion years to cross the entire universe and then return. But this race is just getting started. The amoeba takes off again, successfully reaches the far side of the cosmos, then heads back home. Yet not even one functional protein is anywhere in sight. For the next trip, we'll add a payload, a single atom. After inching its way another 500 billion trillion miles, the amoeba drops off its cargo and returns for more. Will it get back before our lucky protein forms? Absolutely. In fact, it will complete another 10 round trips, then 20, 100, 1,000. And there's still no sign of a usable molecule. The amoeba continues making round trips until it has hauled off every atom on Earth. Then, all of the atoms in our solar system. Then, every planet and star in the Milky Way galaxy, one atom at a time. In fact, as we wait for one protein to self-assemble, the amoeba has so much time that moving at just 1 foot a year and carrying 1 atom per round trip, it will transport the entire universe more than 56 million times. That's how long it would take for chance to build one functional protein.
Now, suppose against all odds, chemical evolution produced our single functional protein. Would we have life? No. We'd have one protein. Just a lifeless arrangement of amino acids. The simplest living cell we know has more than 300 different proteins. But proteins are only part of the story when you consider any actual cell. Remember, you're going to have carbohydrates, complex sugars, nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, lipids, a whole variety of different chemicals which jointly constitute the living state. Those bits and pieces all have to be brought into the same microenvironment at the same moment in time.
Each chemical building block must then be assembled and organized into the network of molecular machines that will control every facet of life.
If we can appreciate exactly how hard it is to produce one molecular machine using nothing except atoms and energy, we can see that there's a profound problem, because once you have one molecular machine, you don't have a living thing. These molecular machines need other molecular machines. And even if nature was capable of producing all the molecular machines necessary, that still wouldn't be enough. They have to all be together, all in this tiny little membrane-bound space that we call a cell.
From my understanding of what it takes to make a cell, it has to happen all at once. You can't do it one bit at a time, because everything works together in a causal loop. The higher level of organization transcends the pieces. The spatial organization in the cell requires that molecules end up in the right place at the right time. The DNA is copied into RNA. The polymerase that does the copying has to find the right spot in the DNA to start copying. The RNA has to somehow hook up with ribosomes, which have to be in a particular place. And the proteins then that are made have to be going to a particular place. That's an awful lot to account for by random chance.
The probability that you would get them in the same space at the same time becomes beyond unimaginable. And the probability that you would get them within a membrane enclosure, like a cell, is the next best thing to impossible.
So Alhamdulillah, we have seen that for us to exist on this earth, there must be a design creator, because Allah gives us the understanding. When you look at this is like a miracle, more than Jesus walking on water, more than the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ splitting the moon. But what is important is for us to know that within our body, there is so many, there are 10 million new cells being formed every second. That is just one cell. You see in that picture, in that video, one cell. 10 million cells that is being formed every second. There are more than 100 trillion cells in our body, and every second more than 100,000 chemical reaction is happening in our cells, and we have more than 33.2 billion instruction in our nucleic DNA, RNA structure. And we have, for example, in each of your DNA, in one cell, if you open up, you strand out, they are all rolled up together in the histone, you open up, it will be 1 meter long. And if you're going to take out all the DNA structure in your body, you put it 2 meter, 2 meter, 2 meter, all the way, you can reach the sun and come back 100,000 times. So you can imagine, this is your body. This is the miracle of the creation of Allah. That's why Allah tells us about believing in Him, surrendering in ourselves to Him, and becoming a person who receives His grace, His mercy, His love, and knowing our mission on this earth to be His sincere servant who surrendered to Him and being His Khalifa on this earth, always striving to make ourselves good, helping others to be good, and making the world good, inshallah, for all.